Okay, so in the remainder of the time, we're going to go through one problem with the online calculator, demo that, and then you guys, I'm going to show you the problem here with the worksheet that you guys have too. So the online power supply calculator is much more in depth. Okay, so it does a much better job at finding everything, and it has changed completely since I used it last. That's all new. But so we start down here with motherboard. Okay, what kind of motherboard is it? There's 3 kinds of motherboards on this list. You guys stay with me. We're going to do number 1 together. Okay, so it's desktop server or mini ITX. In other words, a normal PC, a super server PC that might have multiple CPU sockets, or a mini ITX, meaning it's just you're building a little tiny PC. Okay, so in most cases on all these, they're actually going to be desktops. I think one of the ones you guys had was specified as a server. Okay, so then we go down to our 2 CPU brains. Okay, is it an Intel CPU or is it an AMD CPU? So on the case of, we're going to go to the first one here. If it's a Pentium, it's Intel. By the way, Pentium is an Intel word. Okay, so it's an Intel CPU. So I pick Intel. And then, what kind of socket is it? Okay, so these are the different sockets that we have for Intel brand PCs, and this is why this one's harder for you guys, because you don't really know that much about these items yet. And if I go to this, it's not going to say anywhere on what kind of socket it is, so this requires you, again, to Google the CPU to find out what kind of socket it is. Okay, so if I go here to Intel, all I have to do is go down, and I should be able to find the socket set. It is an LGA 775 right there. Okay, so that's the socket. So then I say it's LGA 775, which is, see it on here? It's the bottom. Oh, right there. Socket LGA 775. Okay, so this is how many CPUs, not how many cores. Okay, it's how many CPUs. So there's only one CPU, and what CPU is it? It was the E5300. Okay, so I'm going to go right there to the E5300. And then if you're going to do any kind of tweaking the CPU, you can actually change it. If you were going to overclock, we're not going to do that. Okay, we're going to say we're just using it the way it is. We're going to leave it at the recommended utilization. Then it says what kind of memory. I've got, in this case, we said we had one module of DDR2. Okay, so you could say I've got, however many of those, but we said we've got 2 gigabyte DDR2 video cards. We're not going to even put one in this because it's integrated. Okay, but if we were going to add, this is an add-on video card. So if we were going to add on a video card, then you'd again have this huge drop-down list of the different kind of video cards. Okay, so in this case, there is none because it's the integrated video card, and you can see that it lets you put multiple video cards in. Storage, what kind of hard drive do we have? We have a SATA hard drive, and it is a SATA 7200 RPM hard drive, I'm pretty sure. No, let's go back and look at our PC here down at specifications. I don't know if it gave us that much specification on the hard drive, but we'll see. Hard drive capacity, okay, so what's it's a SATA 7200 RPM hard drive. We've got that, that's the only storage. Optical, we had I'm gonna have to look. I can't remember whether it was a CD or DVD. It is a DVD RW right there, 16 times Super Multi LightScribe DVD RW. So optical drives, we got a DVD, CD RW right there. It's a writer, so it's that one, DVD RW. No PCI Express cards, no Bitcoin mining modules. Then we got to go up over here on the right-hand side. Other devices, we're going to say that we have 2 USB devices. No extra fans, no FireWire, no front card reader. I'm sorry. It already has a separate spot now for a keyboard and mouse. It's not a gaming one, so we're going to just say standard. Any extra fans, this is how big the fan is. An 80 millimeter is a standard fan that goes in the back. 120 is the big one like we had on that server the other day. But we've got no extra fans. If we had a liquid cooling kit, we'd put that in there. This is new too. How much are you going to utilize it? Is it running 24 hours a day, or you use it 8 hours a day? And then I hit calculate. Okay? So this comes up, because it's much more accurate, okay? Then it's 165, and you can see their recommended is 215. There's no such thing as a 215. So really, based on this, we would say the minimum is at 200, okay? And the recommended would be at 250. So really taking their recommended, they're doing the same thing, right? 50 and rounding up to what it would actually be. And then it's got some links down here on power supplies. And look, here's the recommended. This is a 500, even though they said 250. Okay, so you can see this number is far lower than what you came up with your chart, because the chart's intended to be conservative. Okay, that you know that if you had those things, and I don't even know, let's see what it says. I don't see why that would make any difference. You need a slight difference, I guess, because you're using it more, saying that you want to have maybe a better power supply. I don't see why the amount of time that it's on makes a big difference. But you can see if we went and if we added just a gamer video card. Oh no, my senses. This is what he's got. He's got the GTX Titan X. No, he's got the 980 Ti. See what the difference is just by adding that video card. We go from 172 to 437 for that video card. Has 2 power supplies, has 3 fans. That video card makes a ginormous difference, and that's why you have to kind of know if you're going to expand stuff in the future. Because, ouch, right? I just threw away the power supply if I bought a 300. Okay, and now it's recommending a 650, which actually I think is what that video card said you had to have at least a 650 watt power supply for. So that makes a huge difference. That's crazy. Imagine if you had 2 of those, which you could. That's a big power supply right there, by the way. I gotta get, it's 753 recommended, so it's saying buy this 850. And I wonder how much it was, 121 bucks for that one. But it's cool, it's all modular. Garrett really likes modular power supplies. They actually use more power because of it, but then you only put in the cables that you need. They plug in the back of the power supply. It's kind of cool. So with a modular one, you just have all these plugs on the back, and then whatever thing that you want to plug in, you just put the one cable in that goes to that. So you don't have any extra cables like we had when I built that one, that I'm shoving them around out of the way. They just all come in these, you usually get a nice little bag to keep them in. I've got a couple in the back for modular ones. They have a little bit of power loss across the plug, which is why some people don't like them, but for the difference in your cable management inside your PC, they're really, really nice to have a modular power supply. However, that's expensive. You've got to have some money to spend $121 just on your power supply. Now realize, if you built this PC, that video card right there is $500, so you spend $1,000 for video cards too. So if you're going to put these 2 video cards to require that power supply, you're probably not concerned about money on your build at this point. So, okay, so what I want you guys to do for your homework is, I've got down here, I'm going to change this a little bit. I've got right here, it says PC power calculations. It has that chart in there, and I'm going to say, let me do this, I'm going to change it a little bit, because I have, I'm going to say 6 different PCs. That's what I do. East. Okay, so the assignment with this is just to give you, oh, you know what I did put on there? you need to know the link to the PC. So this is an online assignment that you're going to go through, and you can use, I lowered it to 6, so you can use this 5 times and the online calculator once. You can just copy and paste this chart, and you guys can either do it in Word and then upload a file, or you can do it all online. I don't care how I get it, I just want it digitally, okay? And along with this, and I just added that, I need a link to the PC, because if you just give me all those numbers and I don't know what PC looked at, there's no way for me to look at it, okay? So you guys can look anywhere to find the PCs you want. If you want to go to Tiger Direct, which is where those links were from, you can go to Tiger Direct to do PCs. The other place I would recommend is Newegg to get PCs, and there's a reason I'm saying that over Amazon, okay? You can go to Amazon, but if I go to Amazon, you get, oh, I just wrote OC instead of PC. If you go to Amazon, you get so little information on the PC as opposed to, I just put desktop on, there we go, computers, compared to an actual computer store. So I'm going to go to desktops here and kind of show you what I'm talking about. Normally, most of these, if you go here, you're going to get this little blurb, right, on the PC, and you may or may not have any information down here. There's almost none down here. There's a little bit, whereas if I go to Tiger Direct, I'm going to get a whole lot more. So I'd recommend Tiger Direct or Newegg when you're picking your PCs to do that assignment. Okay? Questions?